We plunged into the cornucopia, quivering with desire and the ecstasy of unbridled avarice.
You are listening to The Perfect 10. This month, we watched A Christmas Story.
My name is Kevin Reagan. In 1985, I was 10 years old.
My name is Kit Reagan, and for the next 2 weeks, I am 10 years old.
Kit, you're going to be 11.
Yeah.
What are we going to call the podcast? Still The Perfect 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't shoot Uriah! Don't shoot Uriah! I triple dog dare you!
Fragile! That must be Italian.
Oh,
Not a finger!
A Christmas Story is a 1983 Christmas comedy film by Bob Clark and based on the 1966 book In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash by Gene Shepard. Based on a screenplay by Gene Shepard, Lee Brown, and Bob Clark. It stars Melinda Dillon, Darren McGavin, and Peter Billingsley.
In the 1940s, a young boy named Ralphie Parker attempts to convince his parents, teacher, and Santa Claus that a Red Ryder Range 200-shot BB gun really is the perfect Christmas gift.
Released on November 18th, 1983 by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer or MGM Studios. Kit. Oh, are you tired? It's as if we've done a 24-hour Christmas Story marathon, which we'll talk about in a minute.
What?
Let's talk about what you thought of A Christmas Story.
So,
I know exactly what you want to do.
I want to read my list.
You want to read your list?
Yes.
Okay. This is maybe this is what we'll do next season. Maybe it's not. Let's see how it goes. It is. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Starting off, Ralphie.
I want an official Red Ryder Carbine Action 200-shot range ball air rifle.
Okay. Who plays Ralphie?
Peter Billingsley.
Peter Billingsley. You also see an elf, right?
Buddy, you're not a cotton-headed ninny-muggins. We all just have different talents, that's all.
He plays one of the elves in Elf.
Yeah.
Peter Billingsley was pretty famous even when he got the role to play this. He was in a lot of commercials. He was a well-known commercial actor.
Next, how to make chocolate milk without making a mess. By Marvin. Messy Marvin's more like it.
For delicious chocolate milk and no mess. 1, I always use thick, rich Hershey syrup. 2, stir well. And 3, always delicious.
Oh, Marvin.
Good old-fashioned Hershey syrup in the no-mess bottle. It's delicious.
He was the first person to read for the part of Ralphie and ultimately got cast, but they did read other people, including Will Wheaton, who I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't.
Sean Astin,
Oh, yeah.
who is Bob Newby and who is Mikey from the Goonies, and someday you'll know him as Samwise Gamgee.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you. But I can carry you.
And Keith Coogan. Mm-hmm. All right, who else is on your list?
Next is, also this is from sources across the web.
So this is according to the internet. Good luck.
Scut Farkus.
He had yellow eyes, so help me God, yellow eyes.
Yeah, Scut Farkus.
Okay.
Who played that part?
Zach Ward.
Yeah, Zach Ward. He's directed some stuff, written some stuff. He's a working actor. He has played this role multiple times in various forms. Can I tell you a quick thing about Scut Farkus or more about Zach Ward?
Sure.
He was very surprised by the impact of his character in this film because he was bullied as a kid. So that's kind of how he played this character. I don't remember where this list originates from, but it lists Scut Farkus as a bigger Christmas villain than the Grinch himself.
You're
The Grinch!
And Zach Ward was very surprised by that.
Yeah, next is Randy Parker.
Randy lay there like a slug. It was his only defense.
Well, your list is weird. So he's not an actor anymore. He gave up the acting life and he went into some sort of science and I don't remember which. Geography, I think, actually. I just read this before the podcast, so I thought it would be fun to talk about this. He lived in the house that they filmed in when he left acting. He actually went and lived on the 3rd floor because the person who owned it, he became friends with them. And he said, hey, listen, I will give tours and do meet and greets here if you let me live on the 3rd floor. So he lived at that house for a few months, which is kind of cool.
Next is Grover Dill.
Grover Dill! Farkus's crummy little toady. Mean, rotten, his lips curled over his green teeth.
Oh my God, what? Your list is weird, man. Yeah, Grover Dill.
If you think that's weird, then...
What a weird name.
Wait till next one.
Okay, who's the next one?
Miss Parker.
That is the most precious thing I've ever seen in my life.
She's top billing in the entire film. Melinda Dillon is the biggest name when they made the movie.
I know. I mean
Oh, okay.
Like in 2.
Okay. What is Mrs. Parker's first name? Do you remember?
Wait,
You can think all day, baby. You ain't going to come up with it because she doesn't have one. Neither the mom or dad have names. They are Mr. and Mrs. Parker or the old man.
Oh, yeah. There's an old man on here, so I was wondering who that was.
You use up all the glue on purpose.
Then Miss Shields.
The teacher, yep.
Yes. And then the one that will surprise you is Male Elf. He's the one who threw the kids down the slide.
Come on, kid.
Does it tell you what his name was?
Drew Hockerver.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it either. Hocevar.
Hassever?
Hassever? Yeah. I don't know what else they've done. Unfortunately, they don't have a listing for IMDb, which is different.
Santa Claus.
Of course, Santa, the big man, the head honcho, the connection.
The old man.
That's Darren McGavin, who is a very well-known actor, very well-known character actor. Also played Billy Madison's father, so fans of Adam Sandler would remember that.
Adam Sandberg?
Sandler. Not Andy Samberg. They're
Sounds really like Andy Sandberg.
Well, they both know that, especially Andy Samberg.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No doubt.
The part of the old man was originally offered to Jack Nicholson, who is very famous from a movie called The Shining.
Oh yeah, he's the one who is he the one who's like the it's Johnny?
Yeah, here's Johnny. Yeah, he's Jack Torrance. He's also the Joker. He's a lot of things. He had already won an Academy Award before this film. This was 83, and in 75 he won an Oscar for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I thought the Joker guy died.
That's Heath Ledger. So that's a different people have played the Joker throughout the years. But in the 1988 Joker with Michael Keaton, who actually is Batman in real life, and Beetlejuice, figure that out. So Nicholson was offered the part, but he wanted way too much money, and they were like, we can't do that. So they went with Darren McGavin instead. And look, Jack Nicholson's amazing, but what a difference that would be. Darren McGavin is an incredible actor. So that worked out, I think, for the best.
Next is Schwartz.
Schwartz!
Oh, I see.
Okay, let's talk a tiny bit about Schwartz, because there's some weirdness here. Are you talking the character Schwartz? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, R.D. Robb.
R.D. Robb, yes. Is Flick on your list?
Yes.
Okay, that actor's name is Scott Schwartz. Little bit confusing, right? So Flick is the one who puts his tongue on the telephone pole.
Well, go on, smartass, and do it. I'm going.
Flick's spine stiffened, his lips curled in a defiant sneer. There was no going back now.
The actor's name is Scott Schwartz. The character of Schwartz is the one that Ralphie blames when he says fudge at the F -- word. But it's not R.D. Robb in the background who's yelling, Mom, what did I do? What did I do? Because he wasn't available. It is the actor who plays Flick, Scott Schwartz. So there it is. It's very confusing, but in the background, it is Flick, not Schwartz, that is the one that's screaming and yelling. Does that make sense?
3 blocks away, Schwartz was getting his.
Who else is on your list?
All right, then Head Elf.
Quit dragging your feet!
Ty Johnson. Then Flick. Then Christmas Tree Man.
This isn't one of those trees that all the needles falls off, is it?
No, that's Sim Balsams.
The Christmas Tree Salesman, Leslie Carlson. Yep.
Kid with Goggles.
I like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I like the Tin Man.
Yeah, the one who gets...
Not an actor. He was found on set. When they were filming, Bob Clark saw him and said, I want to put you in the film, because that's how he was dressed. So he and his parent or whoever was with him, that kid was not an actor, which is crazy because he is so weird. It just felt like a choice, but I guess he's just a very individual.
All right. Sandy Parker, Flash Gordon.
So now you're getting into some crazy stuff. Flash Gordon does not appear in the film. Neither does Ming the Merciless if they're on your list. Flash Gordon and Ming are in the script. I don't know if they ever shot this scene, if there's a deleted scene out there, but Ralphie saves Flash Gordon from Ming the Merciless in the original script. That wasn't in the film. Again, I don't know if they shot that or not.
Yeah, okay.
But they are in the credits.
Flagpole Bully Student.
Flagpole Bully Student?
Yeah,
Huh.
Quinn Smith.
I don't know who that would be.
Yeah.
There's kids gathered around, but that's just between Flick and Schwartz, the whole double-dogged area. Triple-dogged area.
Crowd person. Churchgoer. The Scarecrow.
Yep.
Pierre Andre?
Pierre Andre. It's his voice. So that's when Ralphie is listening to, Be Sure to Drink Your Ovaltine, the little Orphan Annie show. The radio show, Pierre Andre is the voice.
11, 18, 16.
Oh, Pierre was in great voice tonight. I could tell that tonight's message was really important.
Christmas Shopper.
Okay, someone who's just shopping. Oh, what's the name?
Gary Jones.
Okay. There are cameos, and one of the Christmas shoppers, when Ralphie and Randy try and butt in line because they don't realize it, and the man goes,
Hey, kid! Just where do you think you're going?
Going up to see Santa.
The line ends here. It begins there.
That is Gene Shepard, who wrote this movie. So he also does the voice of Ralphie through the adult Ralphie voice the whole time.
Yeah, then Frightman.
Who?
Frightman.
Okay.
Jim Hunter.
I don't know who Frightman is.
Black Bart.
Yep.
Wicked Witch.
Okay.
Chinese Father.
Okay. That's
Waiter
probably
1,
the restaurant. Yep. Yeah. Now we're in the
Waiter
restaurant.
2. Waiter 3.
Waiter 4 in there?
No.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the movie, not just the people that were in it. Are there any scenes that stand out as you think about it that you liked a lot?
When Ralphie was beating up Scut.
Yeah, so when he finally snaps.
When Ralphie was fighting Scut, whenever he would kind of like back up to throw a punch or something, he had less blood on his face.
Yeah.
It was so confusing.
Yeah, well, I love that Ralphie had mittens that were not on his hands but attached to the sleeves. That's a very common thing, especially back in the day. So as he's hitting him, the mittens kind of hit Scut, but you can't tell if Peter Billingsley's making contact. It's actually really cool. It's a very good direction. But there is a shot before Scut sits up where you can see a lot of blood, and then it is gone. And then when he sits up and he does that sniff, he's got a lot of blood on his face. It is a kind of disturbing scene.
Not disturbing.
Were we rooting for Ralphie?
Yeah.
I think everybody knew Scut was a bully, including Ma Parker, because she just
and that's
picks...
why she was like, let's go, Ralphie.
Yeah, she didn't care about that kid. Oh, that was all scripted, too. Ralphie beating up Scut and all of his frickin' frazzle, that's all in the script. Whereas when Darren McGavin fights the Furnace...
Oh, blasted! Toot, blurg, rattle, crash, camel, clerk, you blocker, rattle, beast, circle,
that was all improvised. And he decided to say no words because he wasn't allowed to curse. They wanted a PG rating. And he said, the only way I'm going to do this is just saying nonsensical stuff.
My father wove a tapestry of obscenity that, as far as we know, is still hanging in space over Lake Michigan.
A lot of these stories or vignettes are obviously from Gene Shepard's book, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. But some of them also come from another book he wrote called Wanda Hickey's Night of Golden Memories and Other Disasters. So Gene Shepard wrote a lot of short stories, and he would tour talking about them. The closest I can compare him to is a writer named David Sedaris, who writes also a lot of Christmas stuff, but then other things growing up. This thing's supposed to take place in Indiana. They did shoot a lot of it in Cleveland, And some of that was predicated on what was available. The department store Higbee's was something they found in Cleveland, so they wanted to shoot there. They did shoot a lot of it in Canada as well. So some scenes like the Chinese restaurant, that was up in Canada. When they're changing the tire, the infamous Oh Fudge scene, that was in Canada. So there were a lot of Canadian scenes. Everything with Higbee's, which there were 3 scenes with it. The opening of the movie, where you see the town and everything decorated and Ralphie looking in the window, and that's where we first see the Red Ryder BB gun. The second time we see Higbee's is the parade. Remember the parade? Where Darren McGavin says, "Shut up, Ralphie." So when they filmed that, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And there were a bunch of reasons they had to do it that way. But one of them was they needed it to be nighttime and dark nighttime because of different things that would reveal that they were not in Indiana, where it's supposed to take place, but rather Cleveland. And this is 83 at a time where you're not really doing a lot of digital effects to remove things from the movie. You had feelings when you watched it. It didn't have to be a like, but a strong emotion was definitely happening when Schwartz dares Flick to stick his tongue to the pole.
I have 2-word solution.
Yeah.
Warm and water.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just pour warm. Even then, you would have to think that they knew.
Yeah.
But the fire department said the one firefighter grabs his shoulders and basically yanks him away from the pole.
It's common sense.
Well, and then he comes in with like gauze on his tongue. Do you think Miss Shields knew what happened?
No.
You don't think so? She looks right at Ralphie and she looks right at Schwartz.
She knew it was them, but had the wrong idea.
What do you think she thinks?
Like that they pushed her?
Ooh, they made Flick stick his tongue out and pushed him into it. Yeah, maybe. I think she's aware that some hijinks had occurred, and she says Flick refuses to reveal who did it. I don't think he could, because you couldn't understand them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Flick had a rough run, man, because he also ended up with a black eye from Scut Farkus, so it's not a good school year for him.
Yeah.
I keep harping on Ralphie saying fudge.
Yeah.
Only I didn't say fudge. I said the word, the big one, the queen mother of dirty words, the F-dash word.
What did you say?
When they filmed it, Peter Billingsley, who was 12 years old at the time, do you think when they filmed it, he said fudge or something else?
Something else?
What do you think he said? What did you just mouth? Randy. So, yeah. Peter Billingsley has since said that when they filmed it, every single take, he actually says the F word. He says it very drawn out, and then they loop it later. They do additional dialogue recording, or ADR, where he says fudge. But it was so that his mouth says the F word, and, you know, it's dubbed in with the whole, but I didn't say fudge. So, what did you think about the old man's major award?
Oh, that thing was so ugly.
Yeah, it's very iconic, though.
But what is it?
Yeah, well, it's a leg, you know, like in a statue.
Statue?
Yeah, statue.
So again, this was 1983, and merchandising was starting to become a thing in film, but not on any level like it is today. So in 77, when Star Wars came out, it's very well noted that after George Lucas's American Graffiti came out, Fox went back to him and said, "Oh my God, this movie is doing incredibly well. We want to give you more money for Star Wars." And Lucas had already budgeted everything and didn't need it. So he said, "No, but can I have the merchandising rights?" And they laughed at him and said, "Okay." And George Lucas became a billionaire because of that, because Fox gave up merchandising rights to Star Wars. Merchandising became a bigger thing as time went on. Gremlins, there was a lot of merchandise for. Ghostbusters, there's a lot of merchandise for. So there was a little bit for this, but nothing on the level that there is now. And that leg lamp was something that just wasn't available, which is a huge miss. Nowadays, in a film, that thing would have been out immediately. It is out now, and you can get it. But for years and years, you couldn't. I found a weird version of it.
And you gave it to Uncle Brian?
I gave it to Uncle Brian, yeah, for Christmas one year.
Does he still have it?
I would imagine it's packed away and doesn't come out. It was not a major award for Uncle Brian.
It's a major award.
But the gentleman on the street who is talking to the old man is named Either Swede or the Swede.
Yeah, but what is that? It's a major award. A major award? Shucks, I wouldn't have known, Dad. It looks like a lamp. Well, there's a lamp, you nincompoop.
That was the director of the movie, Bob Clark. It's also where some people think that the old man's name is Hal, because they think that the Swede says, Hal, you say that's a major award? But in the script, it says, Hell, comma, you say that's a major award.
Damn, Hal, you say you want it? Yeah. Mind power, Swede, mind power.
He has no name. It is simply the old man or Mr. Parker. Do you want to talk about the Bumpus's dogs? The smelly dogs?
Serves you right, you smelly buggers!
Yeah.
So, how did you feel about the treatment of those 785 smelly hound dogs?
I hated it, but I hate the scene where the dog's ear got stuck in the door, even though it's only cloth, but still.
Yeah, it was fake, obviously. They're not
I
gonna hurt a
know,
dog.
but still, that could happen to a real dog.
Of course it could. And he cried. And it was the one time the old man, he almost felt bad because he opens the door and he's like, and then the dog leaves and then he does say, serves you right, you smelly bugger. A lot of smelly dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I love this film. I love that they wrap everything back in. I find it very impressive the way it's constructed. If you ever get a chance to read the book, it is not laid out anything near the way the movie is. Like, they reorganized this story. The opening of the book is Ralphie going to see Santa Claus. Whereas in the movie, Santa Claus is his last resort, right? His mom says, you can't get this BB gun, you'll shoot your eye out. His teacher gives him a C+ and says, you'll shoot your eye out. So in the end, he's got to go to the main man, the head honcho, and ask him for the BB gun, to which Santa Claus says,
you'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah. So looks like Ralphie is out of luck.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
If you ever see a kid drinking in a movie, obviously it's not real. Nobody really drinks alcohol in a movie, but it's not real. If you see them smoking in a movie,
most of the times it's not real.
It's not real. There is the shot where Ralphie puts tobacco in his mouth in the flashback where he's fighting Black Bart. That is real. He was 12 years old. They had real tobacco, and Peter Billingsley talks about it, and he said he started feeling sick, he got dizzy, and his lips started burning. He said that was real tobacco that he was chewing. Jesus Christ. There were 3 leg lamps that were made for this movie so that they could be broken. There is the sound effect of the leg lamp breaking, which is glass or porcelain breaking, right? When the old man comes running up from the basement. What was that? Plastic doesn't make that sound. So that was just a Foley choice that conveyed a message, but not a realistic one. Mommy had pointed this out when we saw it. I didn't know this, and I was reading a little bit about it. At the very end of the movie, after the Bumpus's dogs eat all of the turkey, and the old man can't have his turkey.
All right. Everybody upstairs. Get dressed. We are going out to eat.
They go to a Chinese restaurant. And at the Chinese restaurant, which again was shot in Toronto, at the Chinese restaurant, they bring out the duck.
Yeah, the mom didn't know they were actually going to bring out a duck.
Yeah, Melinda Dillon, the actor, had no idea. So when she turned and saw it, that is a realistic reaction. When they cut the head off, that is a realistic reaction. And them laughing, all of that is realistic.
Oh, yes, it's a beautiful duck. Yes, it really is. It's but you see, it's smiling at me.
You can look when you watch it. Randy, the actor who played Randy, looks off camera at like the director and people behind the camera. Melinda Dillon they never cut away. And she does an amazing job of keeping Peter Billingsley and Ian Petrella. She keeps them both in the scene. It is awesome to watch because it very easily could have just been cut and do another take. But you would have lost that authenticity of her reaction had they done that. The snow. I read about the snow this morning, and it's heartbreaking to me. I always thought the snow was real. When Ralphie looks out the window Christmas morning and sees all the snow, and I even said, oh my God, there's no snow in the left corner when you look at the screen.
Yeah.
But I just thought, well, I don't know, maybe somebody shoveled a driveway. It's tough to... That is all fake snow. That's crazy because it is really good. If you watch a Hallmark movie, a lot of times they use white felt that they'll cover grass with it in the backgrounds. And the idea is you're not really supposed to see that, but your eye plays a trick on you. But the problem now is in 4K television, it's so obvious. You can see like threads. It's really crazy. But for that is some unbelievable fake snow in 1983. Do you think Scott Schwartz, who played Flick, really had his tongue stuck to the pole?
Yeah.
Kind of. Do you think he was in pain? Do you think that it was frozen to the pole?
No.
They used a suction cup to attach it to the pole. I'm not exactly sure the logistics of it, but that's what he says. He said it was fine. He was comfortable. It didn't hurt. It didn't bother him. It wasn't cold. But they did use an apparatus, so that really was his tongue. I always wondered if he didn't have something in his mouth that was supposed to be his tongue, but that's not what it was. It was his real tongue, and it was artificially adhered to that pole with little to no pain.
Over the years, I got to be quite a connoisseur of soap. My personal preference is for Lux, but I found Palmolive had a nice, piquant after-dinner flavor, heady, but with just a touch of mellow smoothness. Lifebuoy, on the other hand.
Do you think Ralph really had to put soap in his mouth?
Yeah.
He did not. It was just wax. Could you imagine? There's a lot of anachronisms. Do you remember what anachronisms are? We talk about those.
No.
Things that wouldn't exist in that time.
Oh, yeah. There was a photo that someone ended up finding that it was fake because someone had an iPhone in it.
Yeah. That is a perfect example of something that's anachronistic. There's a lot in this film. That just happens. There's not a lot you can do. You can get really into like the minutia. Everything down to Scut Farkus's braces. The way they had his braces bonded to the teeth, they didn't start doing that until the 70s. So they used to wrap them around the teeth, and that's not the way they had his. So like that was anachronistic. Peter Billingsley's glasses were his actual glasses from 1983. The way that the screw sits attaching the arm to the glasses, they're called like 3 prongs, I believe it's called. That didn't exist until much later. So this is supposed to take place pre-World War II, somewhere around 1940. We know it's past 39 because you have Wizard of Oz characters. The Oldsmobile that the father is driving.
Some men are Baptists, others Catholics. My father was an Oldsmobile man.
Would have been from about 1937, but the problem with that is when they undo the nuts, Ralphie holds the hubcap, that's not how the Oldsmobiles were in 37. The whole screw would come out and the nut was attached to it. So like there's just things like that. And one of the biggest anachronistic issues is the Red Ryder BB gun. The company Daisy, who made the BB gun, made BB guns with compasses in the stock, but they didn't do it for the Red Ryder. That was done specifically for this movie, and it was done on the wrong side because Peter Billingsley is left-handed. So there's just like there's little things that I love in movies that you don't really think a whole lot about. They don't hurt the film itself, but I don't know. It's kind of cool to think about. A Christmas Story is considered one of the best movies of 1983 by most critics, at least now. Originally, Roger Ebert gave it 3 stars. He eventually bumped that up to 4 stars because of the relevance and importance of that film at Christmas time. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a score of 89%, and on IMDb, it is an 8.4 out of 10. This is a movie that the only guest that we have had on this show, Kristen Finger, absolutely hates. Kit, where do you rank this movie in your perfect 10 listing?
It is...
The suspense is killing me.
It's a good movie, but there's also a lot of good movies on here, so I'm going to say it is 8.
8? Okay, so you're still Footloose is your number 1.
Yeah.
Then Splash. Then E.T. Then Ghostbusters. Grease is number 5. Nightmare on Elm Street is number 6. Summer Rental is number 7. Okay. Number 8 becomes A Christmas Story.
Yeah, can you write that?
Yep. Number 9 is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Number 10 is Popeye. That's ridiculous. Number 11 is Back to the Future. And finally, number 12 is Goonies. We did it, Kit. We did one movie a month in 2024. If you want to write to us, you can tell us what you think we should watch. You can tell us if you think some of the things we said were wrong. You can tell us if you think some of the things we said were right. You can write to us at Perfect10 the podcast. That's Perfect10 TEN the podcast at gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, The Perfect 10 Podcast. That's 1010, The Perfect 10 Podcast.
It's a clinker!
All right, Kit. This is it. The last one of 2024. Your watch, read, play, listen.
Okay, so.
Can you keep it to one thing for each category?
No. My watch is, I finished watching season 7 of Young Sheldon.
You did. It finally came out.
I'm still watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm going to do this too, so we're going to go back and forth. My watch was Wicked, which I saw with you and Mommy. Yes. It was awesome. I don't know what I expected from it, but it wasn't what I got, and I loved it. And we were very fortunate to see a sneak preview of it, so I'm very grateful for the people who made that happen, which mostly is Mommy, but there's a friend who told me about it. So, Laura, thank you for that. Is this Wicked you're doing? Are you doing background Wicked for me?
No, I'm just humming Defying Gravity.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. All right, what are you reading?
I am reading the Olympics book.
Yeah. Still rocking it? Okay, good. Good. I don't know if I have anything specific to mention I'm reading, so what are you playing?
Well, I have 2 things that I know I'm going to say.
Okay.
Well, actually 3 things. Number 1, I have discovered the love for Pinterest.
Oh, that's brand new too. You just started doing this.
Yeah, I did that last night, and I already have like 7 different
7 boards?
Yeah, 7
Good for you.
boards and stuff. I've made a lot of collages.
I love it. I think that's great.
There is a website. It's on Google or Chrome, or I use it on Chrome. You can also use it on Google. It is called mywishlist.wishlist.com.
Oh yeah, my wish list. Yep.
Yeah, it is an amazing site. You find items, you can copy the URL and put it on there. There is also
it used to be when you would make a list for Santa, you would handwrite it, and you could only write as much as what would fit on a piece of paper, and you didn't want to seem greedy and have Santa be like, this kid's greedy, so you would only put like 7 or 8 things. G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, never got it. Asking for it again this year.
Okay. Yeah, although I really recommend it for like a child or
a lot of playing happening.
Yeah. So it's not as much playing, but it is kind of crafting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have found out a really cool. But,
I just looked at some of your pricing. Go on, keep going.
So it's basically like a little designs. I have some, and some that take a while to make are priced like more. The highest price I have is $30 for a big one that took me about a week to dry and like half a week to design.
That's all of your pricing is crazy expensive, but
all of it is.
Hey, you know what? Believe in your art and make it happen. But they are super cool. I won't divulge how you do it since it's a creative process that is very special to you.
Secret?
I'm not saying it's a secret.
So
proprietary, as it were.
Yeah.
It's cool, kid.
And those are priced $27.63.
I see that.
My
very
cousin
specific.
told me to price it like that because it is a reference from something she watches.
Okay.
If anyone knows that, then
bonus for you.
Yeah.
Would this count as play or would this count as listen? We saw Chicago on Broadway with Alyssa Milano in it, and it was a great time. And then we got to meet Alyssa Milano afterwards.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to say that because that was my birthday present, and I'm still very happy about it.
listening. My favorite song right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is I Bet on Losing Dogs by Mitski.
Yep.
It is such a good song. Also, like Strawberry Blonde, but my personal favorite is I Bet on Losing Dogs by Mitski.
I get it. Strawberry Blonde is I love that song.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I Bet on Losing Dogs. I think it is such a good song, and I really recommend it for people who like kind of sad music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's Watch, Read, Play, Listen. This is it. This is the last episode of 2024. You will be 11 when we do the next one. We'll keep the name of the show since the idea is a perfect movie. Your number one movie is Footloose. Do you think Footloose is a perfect movie? Would you give it a 10, a score of 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute best? Yeah?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Cool. I don't think I agree with that, but I do agree Back to the Future, which you have way low on your list, as a perfect 10, and I also believe that Ghostbusters is. That's it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays and Happy New Year, whatever holiday you celebrate. If you celebrate like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, anything, yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. See you in 2025.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to The Perfect 10.